Today, we will speak about this. Actually, we'll give an introduction on this topic that we will start next week. We're going to begin a series of the couples in Genesis. We will start talking about 6 main couples that are in the book of Genesis. The first couple will obviously be Adam and Eve. And what will we be talking about? Why are we going to focus on these couples in Genesis? Adam and Eve, Noah and his wife, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and his drama with Rachel and Leah, Joseph and Asenath. In short, you will know the history, all the drama, and learn lessons from each of these couples, both men and women, and what we can learn from them and bring to our lives today. Couples and singles as well. Why is this going to be important? Why aren't we simply going to go along for the ride of the dramatized story of Genesis, a series airing on TV in Brazil? We aren't simply going along for the ride. Of course not. But since the subject is trending and you have a chance to visualize the story of these couples, but mainly because of this, take a look at what King Solomon said here in the book of Ecclesiastes. He says this: that which has been is what will be. That which is done is what will be done. And there is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which it may be said, see, this is new? It has already been in ancient times before us. In other words, with the wisdom that God gave Solomon, he made this observation. He had this insight, this understanding that there is nothing new under the sun. Everything that is, what follows, has once been. That has been is what will be. The funny thing is that this happens even in fashion, isn't it? Fashion trends come and go, don't they? One of the latest fashion trends for men is to wear extremely tight pants. Am I right? As you can see here, I'm not in fashion, right? You can see that mine are too loose, right? But I keep them just the same because soon they will be in fashion again. In a little while, the fashion trend will be wide pants again, and I already have the trendy pants. You see, I already choose to wear black, so I don't have to think much. And you don't spend much time looking for something in a closet. So fashion trends come and go. And why is that? Because there is nothing new under the sun. And this is true in regards to all things, even relationships. In other words, what happened back there with Adam and Eve happens today. And it will repeat itself until the end of humanity. Why have we chosen Genesis? Why do you read Genesis? Why do you have to meditate on the stories in Genesis? Because Genesis, which means beginning, the word Genesis means beginning. So it repeats. Genesis, the beginning of things, repeats itself throughout our life. When you are born, is the beginning of your life. When you reach adolescence, it's a new beginning. When you get married, it's a new beginning. So Genesis repeats itself throughout our lives. And the stories and the dramas we see back there that were faced by those men and women, having God as the director and protagonist, all these stories take place today. Just like you who started watching the soap opera must have seen the clashes between Adam and Eve that illustrate and make us better understand why men and women have so much difficulty in understanding and accepting each other today. One of the things that we are going to get into with more depth, which was shown in the last latest chapters was the curse that came upon man when he sinned. Adam, what was the curse that came upon him? Work. Now you will have to work. Now you will have to break a sweat to take the fruit from the earth. This was the curse of Adam. And what was the curse of the woman? Everyone says it was labor pain. It was this too. If it was just that 1, 2, 3 throughout your life. But the woman's biggest pain from the curse was a need for man. Your desire shall be for your husband. And no matter how much a woman wants to fight against it, some women turn up on the nose and say, no, I don't need a man. But at the end of the day, she can even have money and everything. She doesn't really need a man for anything, but she wants to have a man by her side. Just as a man also wants to have a woman by his side. It's not good that a man should be alone. God said it in the Bible. So we're going to dive into the stories of these couples because in order for you to understand your love life situation today, we need to go back there in the beginning. When we go back to the beginning, we'll understand what was and what will be.
And you're going to be able to learn what not to do. Because people, we have this tendency of thinking that with us it's going to be different. That today it's different. That tomorrow is going to be different. And of course we have, everything that is being modernized and many things that didn't exist in the time of the Bible, but people are the same. We have the same conflicts. We have the same difficulties, the same the same problems of relationships. They're the same. And why do we keep repeating? Why is that being repeated over and over, the same conflicts, the same problems? Why? Because we have that impression that, no, until today, for example, you have your mother, your father, you're young, your mother and your father, they tell you, don't do that. Don't do that because I did it and it didn't work. And you think, no, but with me it's going to be different. Until today it's like that. No, I'm going to make my own mistakes. I'm going to live my life and I'm going to learn my lessons. So people end up making mistakes. But the wise person, they look and they evaluate. They look to those who already made a mistakes and they want to understand why did Adam make mistakes with Eve? Why did Eve make mistakes with Adam? Why? Why did God choose Noah and his wife? Why, that Abraham and Sarah? What made that marriage, in that time? How was this marriage when men were able to marry other women? Not like today, it's still illegal. In that time, it was legal. And Abraham, he was faithful to just one wife. Even though she was barren, she couldn't give him children. So when we understand the why, why these couples, what they did that was wrong, what they did that was right, we learn and we can avoid making the mistakes and changing a lot of things. Like many people who read our book, they learn with our mistakes and they don't need to make the mistakes that we made.
Because the Bible doesn't hide their mistakes, right? They were not faultless couples. They weren't perfect couples. On the contrary, you will see several mistakes, dramas, problems, or situations that could have been avoided. But as it was said, those mistakes were left in the Bible for those who are wise to look at understand and think, I will not make this same mistake. I will not make this mistake here. I want something different for me. So this is one of the reasons why we're going to dive into these couple stories for the next months. It will be 6 couples. And for each month, we'll focus on one couple. Another reason is that you have to understand that your current love life situation, the situation you have today, whether you are married, single, divorced, whatever your situation is, your love life is the sum of various events that happened throughout your life, decisions, choices you made. This is a fact for everyone. It's a fact for us, for you, for your mother, your father, if they are still around, the person who is next to you, your brothers, everyone. Your current love life situation is the sum of the events that happened throughout your life and the choices you've made throughout your life. Of course, you didn't have the power over some of the events that happened to you. They just happened to you. For example, you didn't choose to be born male or female. You were just born that way. You didn't choose the family you were born into. You were just born into that family. Many things happened to you. You didn't have a choice. But even those things that happened to you, you can choose how you will deal with them, how to react. Therefore, the situation of your love life to this date, whether you are happily married, everything is fine in your marriage, it is a result of events and choices you made. If you are living in a horrible marriage and you are on the verge of separating, that's the outcome of the events and choices you made. And that's how it is. If you're single and you're 30, 40, 50 years old and you've never gotten married, that's the result of the events you took place and the choices you've made. So this is a sum up and result of the past is important for you to understand, because it's like in mathematics, the one we learned back in elementary school. I never forget this lesson because it is a lesson that we carry for our entire life. It's not only applied in math. In mathematics, we learn the following. When the teacher instructs us, look, here, he gives us a formula, an equation. 2 times 8 plus 10 divided by 2 equals that. And at the end of the book, you can find the correct answer for your equation. Then you do your homework. You go there to solve the little question. Then you look at the end of the book. You see that it is wrong. I'm not getting the right answer. Something is wrong. When you see that the result you're getting to is wrong, what did the teacher say? What did he tell you to do? You have to go back to the beginning of the equation, go back to the beginning of the formula, and start redoing it piece by piece for you to see this part is right. This is right. Oh, this is where I went wrong. Because, in mathematics, when you mess up one little thing, one factor, everything that follows that will be wrong. The result will be wrong. So, in order for you to change the result, get the correct answer, you'll have to go back to the beginning of the equation and redo it step by step. Life is like that. For example, if your love life isn't the way you wanted at this point in your life, let's say you wanted to be already happily married, you have a family, you want to be living wonderfully, you got married and you thought you'd be happy, but it's all going wrong in your love life. What do you have to do? You have to go back. You have to go all the way back to the beginning. You have to go back and retrace your steps in order to learn where it went wrong. What choices or choice did I make that made me get where I am? And what can I do differently from now on in order to change this result? God gives us this opportunity. God gives it to us. And as the text says, that which has been is what will be, which is done is what will be done. And there is nothing new under the sun. So you have to learn from that which has been how to solve your current problems. To go back to the couples of Genesis is to go back to the beginning of the equation and see, well, what were their mistakes? How can I extract and take these lessons and apply them to my life today? Gentlemen, you will see yourself in Adam. And ladies, you will see yourself in Eve. You will see yourself in Abraham. You will see yourself in Sarah, in Leah. You will see yourself in Joseph. You will see yourself in these people because they were what people are today. You will see yourself in them. And soon you will be able to improve. You'll better yourself as a result. You will also be able to understand, well, I'm following the same path. Look, I followed the opposite path. I have to go back to the right path. This is how you will start to repair and rebuild your life and change the final result of the equation.
And going back to the equation, when people don't have their results, when they don't know what it's supposed to be, which is the case of many people, you didn't have references. You don't know what it's supposed to be like. So many men, they don't know what it's like to be a husband. Many women don't know what it is to be a wife. They know how to be a woman like any woman, but being a wife, they don't know what it is to have value. They don't know that. They think that to have value is what people give to her. But God created the woman already with value. She already had value. Adam already had value. God created him with value. So, meaning people many times, they aren't able to understand this. They think that value and to be valued and respected, to be loved by someone, that it's something else. And they run after that as if that's going to change that equation that's always wrong. And they say, I already heard everything. I already did everything for it to go right. I already redid it. But the thing is that you don't have that reference. You don't know how this equation is supposed to go right. It's not the way that you've been doing it all this time. And the Bible, it gives you the result. It's like this math book that has the results there in the back. That's why we see those examples in the Bible. And they weren't people that were just any people. It was chosen people, chosen by finger. Chosen, God chose those people. They were among so many, and God chose them, even though they had mistakes. And He made of them something extraordinary.
But remember, it can be very frustrating when we think about, let's say, marriage. It is as frustrating as mathematics. In math, you calculate, and when you see at the end of the book that the answer is wrong, you think, what did I do wrong? You feel stupid. You feel like a dummy because your classmate got it right and you didn't.
I remember I had a teacher that I used to come with that equation, those that had that X in parentheses, those horrible ones. And I would come and say, I don't understand this. I did it many times. And he would tell me, figure it out. And, I honestly didn't learn.
It is very frustrating. You see others getting it right easily while you can't do it. But I don't understand. It's very frustrating. In our marriage, it was frustrating because the result or answer was always coming out wrong. I'm sure there are a lot of husbands here who must feel this way today. A lot of women must feel this way also. In our case, for a long time, in our marriage, I felt that I never reached the standard that Cristiane wanted for me. Because she placed her standards up there to begin with, started when she compared me to her father. When she started saying, My father isn't like this. Oh. Not that I have anything against her father. On the contrary. But how could she compare me to her father or anyone else? Because it is very unfair for you to compare your spouse with anybody else because everyone is unique. Nobody is like anyone. So she compared me to her father, but not only with her father, but others as well. Look, you could be like so, and she'd say, my friend's husband does this.
And he would compare me with his mother. His mother, that had 4 children, already knew how to do everything. She had that strength of an independent woman. And he married me. I was 17 years old. I was a little girl who had just left her house. And he would compare me to his mother.
I had to get even, right?
Yeah.
So, no matter what I did, it was never good enough. The answer would always come out wrong. Then I would reach the point when, I was frustrated. She was frustrated. And she said, I can't take it anymore. And that's when me and people give up. They give up and they think they're stupid. They say, I don't think this is for me. Or they blame the teacher, saying, oh, this teacher doesn't know how to teach. They have to blame someone because it is frustrating to get the wrong result. This is a fact in mathematics as it is in your love life. I would say it's much worse in your love life because in mathematics, the worst that can happen is that you do poorly on a test or end up doing poorly later on in life, depending on your work. The field of math is a part of what you need to do. But in relationship, it's much worse because in math, you have a class every 2 or 3 days a week. But in marriage, you're married every day. And every day you have to get at least 9 out of 10. Every day you have to get good grades because at the end of the day, you have to get good results.
And that sum, they keep adding more and more. Every day it's more mistakes. The mistake from the day before, it's plus the mistake of today, plus tomorrow's mistakes.
There comes a day you can't even go back anymore. You don't even know where you start. But you have to start from the beginning. That's the truth. At the love therapy, you learn to retrace your steps from the beginning. When I understood my parents' mistake and how these mistakes reflected on me, right? Because you see, she compared me with her father. I compared her with my mother. I had no reference of a good father. So when I understood his or their mistakes, I came to see my mistakes. That's when I said, I saw that. I was doing everything wrong. And I had to go back and start everything correctly. In fact, that's the great gift, the great opportunity, the great blessing that God gives us. As he said to Cain, God spoke to Cain. He said, when he made the mistake, he gave the offering of just any old thing. Cain said, Lord, why didn't you accept my offering? And he said to Cain, look, if you do it right, next time, you will also be accepted. In other words, God gave him a chance to try again. God gives you a chance to try again. Pay attention, you husband or wife who is here. You who have a long history of failures in your love life. Pay attention. You don't have to keep making those mistakes. God gives you a chance to try again, to do it right this time. But you have to try again differently. You can't insist on being proud. No, I'm this way, like I did to Cristiane. I've always been like this. What do you want me to do? When you met me, I was already like this. So I was frustrated. I used to tell her, you met me like this and you want me to change me now? You can't keep doing it wrong. Trying it again, but trying it wrong all over again, it will only give you the wrong result. Understand that if you're getting the wrong result, you have to try it differently. Obviously. So learn this. God gives you a chance. Husband, from now on, you can do it differently. You don't need to keep lying. You don't need to keep mistreating. You don't need to keep these grudges. You don't need to have those bad memories. You don't need any of that. Your past is already defined, but not your future. Your future is not defined yet. You are writing your future today. And you can do those things differently. So you can stop making these mistakes. You can do it differently. Look, we hear many singles say that they were never lucky in a love life. Mature singles, many say, oh, I was never lucky in my love life like this and like that. But you don't have to keep saying these words. I have bad luck in love. I've never been happy. Nobody wants me. There is something wrong with me. You don't have to think that your past will be your future. Let's redo this equation. Are you up for it? Yes or no? We will do our best here so that together with you, we'll go back to the past and we'll really go all the way back to the beginning, right here in Genesis. And we'll see where it was we went wrong. Because that which has been is what will be. So let's learn. Because the tips and clues are all there. And we will open your eyes for you to see them. So next week, we start with Adam and Eve. Don't forget to invite a friend to watch. If you know somebody who needs it, whether you're single in a relationship, invite somebody to watch from the beginning. These lectures will revolutionize the story of your love life. Amen?
Did you know that over 50% of couples who get divorced regret not trying harder to save their marriage? No one gets married to later get a divorce, but sometimes it seems like there's no other option. Wait, you haven't tried everything. Bulletproof Marriage has already helped millions of couples all around the world to avoid separation. Even if one party isn't willing to change, or the relationship seems like a lost cause, give yourself this opportunity. Read this amazing book and shield your marriage against divorce. Buy the book on Amazon.com today.